Well, look who's here. It finally worked. Sorry, I'm 21 minutes late, you guys. The routers weren't working. So I had to reset one in the house, had to reset one in here, had to turn my phone off. Let me go over here and turn some air on because I'm getting a little warmish. When you hop on, say hello. Let me know you're here. Do something kind of fun today and open a couple of packages. Carol Stinson, you're my first watcher. Hey sister, how are you? Glad you're here. Glad I'm here. Glad the internet's finally working. Yikes, y'all. I don't like it when technology doesn't work. Let me pull my little notes up here because I had notes on my other phone that I wanted to go over. So how is it your direction in Georgia? Hot? It's probably, let's see what it is here. Oh, not navigation. Let's see. Weather. It is 77. I always love watching. You're so sweet. I love you. Hey Siri, put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Okay, Do Not Disturb.
Thank you very much, Siri. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. You know, I said I was through with fall 85 and beautiful. Love it. And I almost am. But I saw this idea the other day about what you could do with beautiful fall leaves to help them maintain their color and then use them in craft projects. Well, the leaves around here haven't exactly started turning, most of them. Very sad. So I went over to the Walgreens over by me and found some red ones and some orange ones. So I picked some up and I experimented last night, and I'm going to show y'all today what I did and then how I'm going to use them. So let me turn you this way a little bit. You will notice that I have on the stove like a pie pan of water that I've heated up, and then I cut a big chunk of this Gulf wax and put in there and let it melt. So here's all you do. I have a piece of parchment paper here, and I'm going to pull it real close because I'll probably still drip it, and I'm going to take a leaf. We'll start with this beautiful red one right here, and I'm going to lay it in the wax, tap it down in there to get it coated real well, take my tongs, hold it up, let a lot of the excess drip off of it because it will form little bubbles if you don't, but you can always gently peel them off, and then lay them on my wax paper. And then I go and I get another one, and I'm trying to kind of lay it out flat a little bit. I'm leaving the stems on for right now because it's easier to pick them up if the stems are on. Now, I read another way you can do it, but to me, it's a lot more trouble. You can take a piece of wax paper and you can lay your leaves face down on the waxy part. Then take another piece of wax paper and lay it waxy side down on top of it. Then take a piece of parchment paper, lay on top of that, and iron on kind of a medium heat with no steam, and just let the, let me make sure this is still on, yes. let the wax melt. But to me, that would take a lot longer. So the cool thing about these is that once they're dry, which doesn't take hardly any time, let me tell you now, let me see, once they're dry, then you can use them to craft with, and you can put them away for next year if you have extras. So once the leaves get really, really pretty around here, I'm gonna go through and collect a lot. And then what I'm probably gonna do is go to Goodwill and get an old pan that I don't mind being full of dried wax. And I'm gonna just melt some of this Gulf wax and put a bunch in there at one time. And you'll notice I got different sizes because I'll show you what we're gonna do with them in just a minute. This is a very simple project. This would be fun to do with children, to do with grandchildren. And really, when you think about it, the sky is the absolute limit with what all you could do with these. You could put one of these at each one of your place settings with a little tag on it that has the person's name that you want to sit there. You could use these in a wreath. Of course, you can decoupage with them on pretty much anything you want to, including bottles, and make a fall bottle. All kinds of stuff. So once I put it in and tap it down, then the wax is getting on this top side too. So I'm getting both sides done at once, just letting a lot of the excess drip off. I'll show you in some of the ones I did last night. I kind of learned my lesson that you need to let most of the excess drip off, because if you don't, or if you lay them across one another on the parchment paper, little balls of wax will form, which is not a big deal because, like I said, you can take those off. But sometimes in doing that, what I found was that little parts would break off. Now once these are good and waxed and dried, unless you just really intentionally bend them, they shouldn't break. They shouldn't be brittle, and yet they should hold their color perfectly. So I love this. I think this is the coolest idea I've seen, and so simple and very inexpensive. This one still has green and brown on it, so we're going to do one of those. And then we're going to stop doing this now that I've showed you the process, and go over to the table and start with our actual project. So let me turn this off, turn the gas off, and I'll lay this one out. And now what I'm going to have to do is take you all off of here, so I'll try to be gentle and move you slowly over here to my table. Set you up right here. Okay, let me tighten it so it won't fall. Okay, so this is gonna have to come down a lot. And my husband, y'all, he is in Florida working on a house that is amazing. Has a dining room table that will seat 22 people. Has 3 stackable washers and dryers in it. Unbelievable. Okay, now I went today to try to get one of the paper mache trees. That would be the ideal. Michael's did not have them, and I didn't want to drive all the way across town to Hobby Lobby. So I'm just using a styrofoam tree, but let me show you what I've done so far. Now I know these leaves are not all the same type. I don't care. I still think they're going to be very pretty. So what we're doing, see right here where it's got this little extra wax? See, I can just try to gently peel that off. And there we go. Okay, so I've done one layer. I have a bunch of them that I did last night in this witch hat. These are all waxed. And like I said, they're all different kinds. That's okay. We are going to just start layering them around. And this time I am going to cut off some of the stem because I'm not going to need it. But I am going to overlap them. And then I'm using hot melt, and I'm only going about halfway up this center vein, and I'm going to overlap it and then just hold it down with my thumb for a minute until it adheres. And even if it melts through the styrofoam, it's no big deal. Hey, Maria Chapman. Thank you, Carol. I think it's kind of cute. Now see, this one has a lot of extra wax on it. That's what all that white is. So I'm going to take my finger and scrape it. When I did, I also broke it. That's okay because we're overlapping them, so I'm still going to use it. I think that this would be cute also if you went back and found some acorns and stuck some acorns on here, and if you added fairy lights. Thank you, Sandra. Wouldn't that be cute to add fairy lights? So this is not just for like Halloween. This goes all the way through fall. It would go all the way through Thanksgiving. Some people leave some, I've got some trees I'll leave up all year long. So I wouldn't even mind leaving this up all year long, but I think, I'll show you in just a minute, I just think all these different colors are so pretty. I do wish I had the cardboard one to cut the tree because it's a little bit bigger. But this is what I had to work with today, so this is what we got. So we got back from camping yesterday, and Rodney had a flight out last night to the Fort Lauderdale, Miami area to work on this house. Oh my gosh. He said it's 10 acres. Rodney, if you're on here, tell us about it. Has several buildings on it, including a spa. He met the homeowner. And it's got like an art, he said like an art studio, like where you go to learn the arts, maybe like dance and stuff. I think he has 3 daughters. And then he said like outside there's an 80-foot wide waterfall that goes down into like the hot tub and the pool, and I can't even imagine. Just can't imagine. Massive, massive. So one thing about Ronnie, he gets to see some pretty cool places. Normally he doesn't work a lot on residential. He's mostly commercial, but lately he's had a couple of residential. My brother-in-law had a dining table that seated 14, but always had lavish parties, etc. Well, I'm assuming that the homeowner of this home must be having some pretty lavish parties too. To have, and I think my daughter said that Rodney told her that it would seat 22, but there was standing room for 100 people in that dining room. That's a lot of people. So, anywho, that's been his job today. And I think he has to go back tomorrow just to, double check before he heads back home that everything is fine and dandy. So he won't have to make a separate trip. I would hate to be the maid. Seriously. But that's the other thing I was telling my daughter. I said, if you can afford to have a house that big, then you can afford a maid. For sure. So I'm just taking all different kinds, going back and forth. So y'all, we had the best time camping this weekend. The weather was perfect. And we were looking over the lake. So the sunsets in the evenings were amazing. And some of us got there on, Tilly actually got there on Friday. Rodney and I got there Saturday. He went while I was at the Native American Indian powwow and got set up. And then I did the inside set up when I got there. I know I missed your big hug too. Hey, Kathy. So then that night, her friend and she got some pizza. And so we all sat out by the campfire, watched the sun go down, ate pizza. And then on Sunday is when the rest of the crew, they kind of, came in at different times. So once everybody got set up, we were only from our house, I think the GPS said 53 minutes or something, but in the car it doesn't even take that long. It's not far past the airport. And so then Sunday, after everybody got kind of set up and ready to go, we went to Olive Garden. And the president of our group, Marty, has a birthday close to mine. And so we all had delicious food, and then they brought us a dessert of his choice and a dessert of my choice. I had some Italian donuts drizzled with chocolate. Oh my goodness, they were good. He had some kind of a cheesecake. So that was Sunday night. And when we got back, I think everybody was just, pretty well tired since a lot of them had just set up that day. So we didn't do much that night. Then Monday morning, we went to Lisa's sister, went to he and his wife's rig and just had kind of a, so here we go so far, just kind of a smorgasbord of breakfast items. Everybody just kind of brings a little something and contributes. And then that afternoon is when I did the craft with the ladies. And we did the reverse decoupage bottles like we did at the Sparkle Retreat, only we made them Christmassy. So here was mine that I made for a sample, and I designed all of the papers. Everybody had different papers. And then on the back I designed these angels, and we just used these trees for toppers, put a little faux snow in there, put a little greenery around there and a little charm, and we were good to go. So they really had a good time doing it. I was so proud of them. I told them I was like a little proud mama, watching them all do their crafts and get them together. So that took up most of the afternoon on Monday afternoon. And then that night we went back to their rig and we had chili. We had white chili and regular chili. Two different people had made chili. And then somebody made grilled cheese sandwiches for us. We had grilled cheese sandwiches. We had chips and dip and all the fixings to go with the chili. Desserts. and sat around the campfire and just, talked, and again watched the sunset. Rodney and I and a couple others walked over to the water's edge and actually took some pictures of the sun going down. It was so pretty. And then everybody went to their place, and about the time we got to our place, our son called, and he and Rodney were on the phone for 4 hours and 12 minutes. You heard me right. Those two can get to talking about science stuff, and they were talking about the periodic table of elements for a large portion of that time. Now, what most of you may not know about me is I hated science in school. I did as little as I could possibly do to get by with the C. So, it was completely and totally over my head, the whole conversation. Kept trying to go to sleep, couldn't go to sleep. Finally went to sleep. So, then, the next morning, we went back to their rig, and the men cooked breakfast. Now, they used to do that all the time. It was just kind of a tradition that on Saturday morning, men cooked breakfast for the women. Well, then we went through several camping sessions where it was raining or it was too cold. And so we ended up having to go out to eat. So we were kind of tickled that we finally had decent enough weather that the men could cook breakfast for us, and they did a great job. We had scrambled eggs, we had fried eggs, we had bacon, we had sausage, we had some French toast sticks, we had fresh fruit, not fresh fruit, but frozen fruit, coffee, of course, juice. I mean, we had the works. It was so good. Here we go. I still think these would be darling with fairy lights on woven in and out of them. So then we had a meeting. We always have a meeting when we get together to talk about next year's schedule, things like that. So we had our meeting, and then everybody kind of did different things that afternoon. Three of us went shopping. Another couple went shopping together. And then we came back that night and had a hot dog cookout at their place. That was our last night. And then different ones of us started bringing up our favorite praise and worship music on our phones. And several of them started singing along with it. And it was so sweet. I love glamping too, Maria. It was so sweet. We were singing some of the old hymns. We were singing some of the current, popular praise and worship songs. It was precious. Just a really sweet time. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. And then we went back and, started getting our rig ready to come home yesterday. And we knew that we didn't have much time when we got home till Rodney had to go catch a plane. So we had to sort of do it quickly. And then we leave again on this Sunday and go to Lock A, which again is about 40 minutes from us, with some other friends, not our camping group. And that really is one of our, that's the place that some of y'all who follow us have seen us go live from there where the barges are going down from the dam. And at night they've got their big lights on, and it's really cool to watch them. So we will be at Lock A Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and come home on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, come home on Thursday, which I think is Halloween Day. Hey Tina, how are you? Terry Chisholm, hey sweet sister. So that's what's been going on in the Siler household, let me see, I made some notes. I thought I'm going to make some notes so I'll remember some things to tell them because Rodney's not here, so I have to have my notes. So yesterday, y'all, we got home and I went out to run some errands, and when I was coming back, I saw a motorcycle wreck. Y'all, it scared me so bad. He was in the Kroger, he had pulled into the Kroger parking lot, and when you pull in off the road, you take an immediate right, and that takes you into the parking lot. It looked like to me that he missed, or that he went over the curb and lost control. All I saw was the motorcycle go down and him go in the air. Oh my word. So I looked over there and saw a Kroger employee walking toward him. And once I got out on the road, I thought, well, maybe I'll just head on home. But I don't know, as soon as I got even with where he was, I thought, I've got to pull in and check on that man. And so by the time I did, the Kroger employee wasn't there anymore. In fact, I'm not positive he went over to him. It just looked like he was headed that way. And so the guy looked like maybe he was in his, I don't know, 50s or so. But he had on a sleeveless shirt. And he was standing there looking. He had set his motorcycle up. And he was standing there looking at it. And so I just drove up and rolled my passenger window down, and I said, "Sir, are you okay?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm not real sure what happened." And I said, "Well, hey, Tina," I said, "it looked like to me that you kind of went up on the curb." And he said, "Well, I was deliberately trying to avoid the curb." I just realized my light's not on here, y'all. Sorry. I still think that's maybe what happened. He said, "I was deliberately trying to avoid the curb," and he said, "Next thing I know, I'm airborne and my bike's on the ground." And so I said, "But you're sure you're okay?" And he was so sweet. He did his hands like this, and he goes, "Yes, I am, and thank you so much for stopping to check on me." So I was glad I did. And he had on one of those huge helmets that, you know, has the piece that comes across here. I mean, all you could really see was his eyes. And I really think if he hadn't had that on, he might have either died or, you know, had some real serious injuries. So, whew, that was scary. Then I had my notes to remind everybody to please make sure you vote. Rodney and I voted already, early voting. And if you remember, a few weeks back, I put together some mystery boxes when I cleaned out my art rack. I ended up with 13 mystery boxes. Probably could have had a lot more, but some of it I just took to Goodwill and said forget it. Number 13's already been bought by Kimberly Wolt. I'm going to post a picture tonight on the Craftin' and Cruisin' page and on Craftin' and Cruisin' Buy It Now. I would love it if everybody would go over there and choose a number. I'm selling them for $25 plus shipping. They have, some of them have original artwork in there. They have some home decor, some of them do. I mean, they all have something different. So no two are just alike. When I get them all sold, I'm going to do, hey sis, I'm going to do a drawing, put everybody's name on the circle that bought a box. You have to buy a box for your name to go on the circle. And from everybody that buys a box, their names are going to go on the circle, and somebody's going to win an original watercolor from me. Not exactly sure which one yet, but it might also come framed. positive about that. So, if you choose to go over there and get a box, and, share it with your friends and your enemies and in-laws and outlaws, invite them to go look. Of course, you can't see what's in the boxes. They're just numbered. You'll see the picture of all the numbered boxes there. Put down what number you want sold. And if you go in to buy one and you want number 10 and it says 10 sold, you'll have to go for another one. Do not put dollar signs or decimal points. Just put sold and the number. Okay? So, until all those get sold, we can't do the drawing. And I really need to sell them because guess what? Already, much of my Christmas stuff is in my living room waiting to be used for decor. Yep, you heard me right. No haters, please. No haters. Y'all know I love to decorate early and big for Christmas. So that time has come. I usually do it the weekend after Thanksgiving, Halloween. So we're almost there. So I'll put it on the Crafting and Cruising page. It would be better if you went to the Crafting and Cruising VIN/auction page to actually purchase. Wouldn't have to worry so much about the and sales and stuff. But remember, no dollar signs, no decimals. I bought 4. What? I bought 4, so that's unavailable. You told me 13. I sent you 13. I think, didn't I? I think I sent you number 13. Not positive. I'll have to check it, but I think maybe you did say 4. Why did I think it was 13? Just because I had 13 boxes? No, Kimberly. It'll say, do you still have your box? Hey, Stephanie. I don't know. On your box, it should have a number. I'll know when I go in there because they're all numbered, so I'll know which one's missing. Y'all, I about used every one of these. I didn't think I was going to use all the ones that were in this hat on this project, but I just about used all of them. So this Saturday, I will be in an event. I've been posting on my page and in my stories. It is a collaboration of, hey Jada, how are you, sister? Good to see you. It was good. We missed you. It will be, it's a collaboration between Paint Pixie, Josie, and Catherine at Digital Deco Designs. Y'all, I'm an affiliate for Digital Deco Designs. I just went and looked at the new Christmas paper she has put out, and OMG, I am glad that I am a member of the, she's got like a club. You can join the club and then do your own downloads and not pay extra for them. And she has some of the most gorgeous Christmas papers I've ever seen. I'm not going to tell you which one I'm using this weekend, but I love it. So the paints that I'll be using will be Josie's from Paint Pixie, and the paper will be from Catherine at Digital Deco Designs. And if you want to go look on my link tree on Crafting and Cruising at the top under Featured, there is a thing that says link tree. And if you go to the link tree, you'll see my link to Digital Deco Designs. And you can either buy them from her and she will print them and send them to you, or like I said, you can become a member of her little club thing, and you pay a certain amount, a month. And hi Lisa, I miss you too. At school, I'll kind of can't miss much for attendance purposes. I totally get it, sweet girl. You don't need to be missing. I'm so proud of you, Emily, for all you're doing in school. Very, very proud of you. We talked about that this weekend. So anyway, I have the link to the event on my stories and on my page. It's all day, y'all. It's going to be amazing. It's a Christmas event to kind of kick off the holiday season. And I don't even know, there's a ton of creators. I'm not sure exactly how many are on there, but it's from like 8 in the morning till about 10 at night. I think my time slot is 1:15 p.m. Central Time till 2 o'clock. So, but I would love it if you would come watch all of the creators, not just me, because y'all know what that does to help us in FB land. Okay, so I think, now I don't have anything to put on top right now. Somewhere I've got a rusty star that I'm going to probably put on there. And I may put a few more down at the bottom to cover up the white. These glue strings are driving me crazy. But here you go. Isn't that cute, y'all? And I think to put some acorns on here and to put maybe some fairy lights in. I actually have some fairy lights we could try to string around here. The only other thing I was going to show y'all today is I got some molds from Amazon. I needed some snowflake molds for Christmas and winter. And so I got some molds from Amazon, some snowflakes, individual snowflakes that came in. And I've already put some Form Flex in a couple of them. I'm not sure one of them is going to be super easy to get out. So I can't necessarily vow and swear that I love all these molds yet. But I wanted to tell you that Form Flex is my favorite kind of it's a compound to use like you would use air dry clay, but it's Form Flex compound. It holds its shape. The shape won't go away even when it dries. You can still remold it. Now once you put like a clear coat on it, then it goes away. I mean, then it's hard. But until then, you can manipulate it. Let's see about some of these little fairy lights right here. So, I was going to get the one that I did out of the freezer and see how well it turned out. And I was going to show you how to use Form Flex. Now, I said I was going to be using Paint Pixie in this collaboration this weekend. And Josie with Paint Pixie has a product called Pixie Dough that I have not tried, but I hear rave reviews about it from those who use it. They say it's kind of like marshmallow. So that is another option. Okay, let's see if I can undo these little lights. These are so dainty, y'all, but they're so pretty. Of course, it will look better when I have a topper on it. Could even put a big round Christmas ball on it. The other thing I wanted to ask you guys is if you will please go over and join my YouTube. It's Craftin' and Cruisin', all one word, no spaces, just like my Facebook page. I have been working feverishly trying to get all of my videos from Facebook put over there in case something were to happen. I do need to go in and change all the thumbnail pictures because YouTube just chooses a thumbnail that's terrible. So Miss Tracy at Craft Around the Clock has taught us how to do that now. So I've still got a lot of work to do to get it set up. But it would be very helpful to me if you would just go over there and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So easy to remember because it's just the same as my Facebook, Crafting and Cruising. And if you're on TikTok, and I know a lot of people aren't, I wasn't for a long time either, and I don't do a lot on it. But if you're on TikTok, you can also follow me at Crafting and Cruising. That would be helpful. Okay, I'm just winding these around here just to see what it looks like. I probably should be paying attention to do it a little neater, but trying to run them kind of underneath some of the leaves so that some of the wire will be hidden. Okay, let's see what else I was going to tell you guys. Also, I will be participating in a 30-minute sale on Craft Around the Clock on November the 1st at 2:30. And it'll be kind of like the sale I did before, where it's just boom, boom, boom. Run through, show you the item, describe it a little bit, tell you the number, the price, first person that puts sold, and the number wins the item. It doesn't have anything to do with Craft Around the Clock. It'll all be taken care of with each individual seller. Tracy's just letting us use the Craft Around the Clock platform to go in and do some sales of our items, which is very, very sweet. So that will be November 1st at 2:30. And then this Saturday will be at 1:15 to 2 o'clock. That will be streaming also into Craft Around the Clock, probably into the Crafty Bunch as well. But I do have the creators listed on my page. They ask us not to post everybody's time that they're coming on because we want you to come on there and watch everybody. So I told you my time, but that's all I can do. Okay, just about got these wrapped. We shall see what they look like. I have to turn that big light off. Turn this light off anyway. Okay. Let's see. Oh, link. It's cute. Alright, let me turn this light back off. Y'all can see. See, just put some fairy lights around it. Put a little star on top, and you've got a real simple, cute little craft to do with children, grandchildren, or just for you. Alright, so let me turn this off if I can figure out how I turned it on. Okay. Put this to the side and let me get the Formflex out. Turn the lights back on. Okay. Let me see. Okay, here's the silicone mold. Right here. That's what it looks like on the back. I got this one. These are the ones I think are going to be a little bit harder to get out. This one, this one, this one, this one. So I put the Form Flex in here first. I used a little cornstarch and put it in the mold, dusted it around, and then dumped out the rest, okay? Then I took the Form Flex, I'm gonna make one while you're on here. Put it in here, pressed it down real well, scraped off the excess, then stuck it in the freezer. It's been in the freezer for about 30 minutes, but usually 15 minutes is good enough, okay? So, what we're gonna do is just take it and start bending the mold a little bit to see if we can pop it out. These molds are deep. Quite as easy as the, oops, that one broke, IOD molds do. Okay, let me just go around the edge a little bit. I wanted to get the IOD mold, the stuff like mold, but it's retired, and if you can find it, it's very expensive. Okay, so you can see how thick it is on the sides. This little piece broke off right here. Okay, I can probably take some wood glue and glue that right back on. Let's see. Oh my goodness, this Fabri-Tac is spilled everywhere. But here's the wood glue. So let me see if I can take this top off, put a little bit of wood glue on it, and set it to the side and let it dry. Okay. Set it right over here. Push it up a little bit. Just let it sit there overnight, and hopefully that'll dry. So let me show you. Let me find a different one to do. Would you look at this now? Fabri-Tac. It's really hard to keep that stuff closed and not running everywhere. But when you travel like we do, stuff floats around. Okay, let's find a different mold. Let's do this one. Okay, so we're going to take our cornstarch and just a little fluffy paintbrush. You can just rinse it out. And I'm going to put it all down in here, making sure I get up in those little points. Now with some molds, some people can put their Form Flex in and take it right back out. Tammy, who created it, says to let it sit in the freezer for about 15 minutes. Okay? So now you want to keep your Form Flex, and it comes just like this, and you want to keep it closed when you're not using it. You don't want any air to get in there. So I'm going to take a big chunk out, close it back up, and it comes with a white card. This is not the card it comes with, but it comes with a white card just like this, just like a room key for a hotel or a credit card. that you can scrape the excess off. Tammy actually uses, to scrape the excess off, a metal what do you call it? Paint, not a spatula, what's it called? Somebody help me out, what's it called? You know how what oil painters use? They don't use a spatula. What do they use? Anyway, that's what she does. Okay, so she kind of softens it up by just rubbing it in her hand, the heat from her hand a little bit, and rolls it almost into a snake-like pattern, and then just starts pushing it down in the mold. Saw Rodney said something about the okra pods. I got a bunch of okra pods from my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and some from our friends from camping this weekend. And I know what I'm gonna do with some of them, but and I'll show them to you in just a second, the ones we got this weekend. But Rodney wanted me to see if you all had any suggestions. So, because these molds are deep, I'm pushing it down in here, and then I'm going to take the card and I'm going to push even more and even harder with this card to make sure that it's all down in there, and you can turn it over and see. It looks pretty full and kind of coming off the edges, okay? So, one more time, just to be sure I have enough down in those insets. Now I'm going to take this and kind of hold it at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to push it down and pull toward me real level. And I'll show you what that did already. That started taking off some of the excess, okay? Not all of it, but it's got a good start. So now I'll turn it this way and do the same thing. All of this right here is extra. And we will go back and tap it again before we're totally done to make sure it's flat. Okay. Here's what we have so far. Is done. Now I'll turn it and pull the other direction. I have a gnat on my arm. Got it. Well, thought it in. Okay, so now let's take the excess off. Now, you don't have to remove all the excess right now. You can even cut it if you need to, if you get too much on there. I just like to remove as much as I can beforehand, but I have taken little scissors and trimmed it up as needed. And once you take it out of the freezer, it's even easier to trim. Okay, so now I'm going to push it down again with my fingers. Some of this little excess off. And I'll put this in the freezer before I go in for the night, and just leave it in there. When I come out tomorrow, I'll take it out. So it's not going to hurt anything. There's no magical time of when you have to take it out of the freezer. And Tammy says, now she stores, or she told us to store, once they're good and dry, to store them in like a container that has a good sealed top on it, and you can do like a layer and then put a layer of wax paper or parchment paper and layer some more. But she told me that she leaves hers out all over her counter and everything for long periods of time. Like there's no magic time you have to put it up. I did at one point put some up a little too quickly in a airtight container before they had dried enough, and they got a little moldy, which I just wiped off and it was fine. Tammy is so good to answer any questions anybody has anytime. Her customer service is perfect. And she and Brett do this business together. Her daughter helps, and they're all so helpful. So don't ever hesitate to reach out to her. I have a link on my link tree for FormFlex. So now I'm going to take this, push it down again, just to make sure that it's good and flat and good and filled. There's a little extra right there. So here we go. Now it's ready to put in the freezer. So I encourage you all, if you haven't tried FormFlex, please try it. Please go over to Digital Deco Designs through my link on the link tree and look at the amazing papers. And now Catherine has them for all seasons. It's not just Christmas. But she has really outdone herself this time. I was looking through just briefly today because I was in Michael's and I wanted to see if there was anything extra I wanted to put with my paper. And I had not really taken the time to look at all her papers, her new papers. I was standing there going, oh my word. And I print my own. I order rice paper from Amazon, and so I print my own. And that way I can print them 2 or 3 times if I need to or want to. So check that out. Also, don't forget to sign up for my YouTube channel, Crafting and Cruising. And if you're on TikTok, my TikTok channel, Crafting and Cruising. And then don't forget to go to the Crafting and Cruising VIN/auction page to look for the mystery boxes so I can give away an original watercolor painting. All right, I'm gonna put that up there, and then I'm gonna quickly show you these okra pads before we stop. Okra pods. Oh, I've got to open my boxes too. I want you to see what Susie Lee sent me. Okay, so look, y'all. Getting my drift. It could also be reindeer antlers. Look at this one. Let's see. Any more unusual shapes? This one's kind of a weird color. It looks like a serpent. Ooh. Anything else? These will be fun. Okay, so we have that. Now, I was telling you about FormFlex. For those of you all who don't know, Tammy and Brett's brother were involved in a horrible car accident. I guess it's been a couple of months now. Head-on collision. And it's only by God's grace that they're alive. But it has, definitely put a damper on their business. Tammy broke her back and other injuries. Brett got lots of cuts and bruises and contusions and has been very uncomfortable. So some of the crafters have been going on her page so that FormFlex could, still be kept up and the book faces not be upset because Tammy wasn't on there doing things regularly. And then what each crafter that has done it has done is they have auctioned off their piece at the end of their live. Well, I won the one that Susie Lee did from Bella Lena Boutique. So it came today, and I want y'all to see it. I'm super excited. I watched her make this, and it was fascinating. She's so incredibly talented. If you're not following Bella Lena Boutique, shame on you. You need to give her a follow. Okay. So let's see. You did a great job packing it, I'll tell you that much. Okay, let's see. Got her little card here. A place for all life's special moments. Brides, moms, kids, teens, home decor. Bella Lena Boutique. And she also has an Etsy shop. Ooh, so pretty. Sweet Lisa, thank you for giving to the Lord. I know Tammy's ever so thankful. God bless you. Love, Susie. Oh, I love Susie so much. Okay. And it's titled on the back, Vintage Memories. Susie Lee, Mixed Media. And we watched her make every bit of this. I don't want to break anything. Oh my word. It is gorgeous. So you put little pictures in here of family members. These are all little frames with some Totally Dazzled, lots of Totally Dazzled. I think this is a Totally, no, this is not Totally Dazzled. That may be Would You Been that she put diamond dust on. Isn't it gorgeous? I got the project that Terry Lightsey Made You did. Oh, I just love this. So I can find some pictures and put in here and hang it. You can either set it on an easel or frame it. Oh, I just love it. And she crackled it and decoupaged it. Can you see the crackle at the top? It's got crackle and decoupage and probably Would You Bend and diamond dust and Totally Dazzled and frames and wow. Just wow. Oh, stencil. She used to stencil right here. I remember her doing that with the Harlequin. Okay, so I got that. I don't even know what else I got, y'all. I just picked up packages in the mailbox. Probably nothing that y'all are even interested in. Or maybe something wrong. Oh, this is my calcium. This is kind of heavy. I'm not sure what this is. This may be something Rodney ordered. This is something of Rodney's. Kind of a scope. Inspection camera for phone. Industrial endoscope. And $200 sheets of sublimation paper. I know what this is for. Rodney's using this. The scope, I'm not too sure about. But I don't think that that box was meant for me, even though it had my name on it. So, all right, you guys, that's all I have for today. I'm going to go work on my YouTube page, and I will be on Saturday, and I hope you all will join me and all the other crafters Saturday. And I just love you and appreciate you. I hope you go out and bless someone and be blessed. Talk to you later. Bye.